So it's time to do some battery maintenance. I'm going to be checking these Interstate battery 6 volt, and I actually haven't done anything to them since I've had them, so they're way past due. I am going to be switching out some connectors on these posts, try to clean them up a little bit, and checking the water level. And the water level is kind of low. From what I understand, the water needs to come up to the at least close to the bottom of that ring, that plastic ring, and all of them were a little low, and this one actually has some buildup around the connector, so I'm going to clean all of that up. And it looks like they've dropped a little bit. These are 6 volt, they're down to 5.9, and I'm thinking that 5.9 is because, first of all, the water is low. This cable has some corrosion on it that's going to have to be cleaned up. In fact, I think I'll pull all of these posts and re-clean them. And these that don't have a solid post, I'm going to put it on the ends of these 3 that don't have one. And I think that's going to be a pretty good connector for them. So they will be able to put out their full power. And then we'll get back up here on this inverter. I'm actually looking for a different one. I like to get a pure sine. This inverter does pretty good. 1500 watt, peaking 3000. It's never peaked, although I've never stressed it either. And this 30 amp charger, I'm going to replace that. I'm going to turn my system over into a 24 volt, so I'm going to change all that out and try to clean this up a little bit. I got these bus bars, positive and negative, coming off the batteries and then going to the inverter up here, and then I've got 2 more bus bars right there coming in from the solar panels. I'm going to pull all that out and replace them with another box, another joining box. And this power strip works pretty good. It itself has only so many amps. I think it only takes 15 amps. Anything above that, it throws a breaker on it. And so far, I've just used regular light switch cutoff. So I have cutoff for the battery, cutoff for the panels. Each one has their own cutoff. I also have a cutoff for the power going into the house. And these are like 50-cent switches. They seem to work pretty well. They work in a home, and they seem to work on this system quite well on turning on and off power as needed, as well as being able to turn off the power so I can, for example, check these batteries out and check the system out. Okay, so that's what we have. I'm going to use, I've seen a lot of different ways you can fill this water up on these batteries online with the funnel and also with a battery water filler. But what I found that works is just get the distilled water and just use just bought a new ketchup, and the point comes out so that the water stream is small enough that I can actually see it as it fills, and I can just look down there with my flashlight and tell when it fills up. This is like $1, so you can use all that. So you want to make sure you use distilled water. That you need something with no minerals in it, because minerals aren't good for your batteries. So I'm going to try to see how these do. I've got another 400 watts of panel to connect to the system to convert it over to a 24 volt, and I'm also converting the house over so that it could use or need less grid line electricity. For example, I'm getting rid of the stove electric, going to propane, and getting rid of the hot water heater, going to propane on demand, and also have a large refrigerator and freezer. So we're going to get rid of the freezer and just use a refrigerator with a large pull-out freezer under it. So we'll get rid of 2 appliances and just combine them into one. So then my only power in the kitchen, I'll need the biggest power is for the microwave, which is for a very short time, toaster for a very short time, and the refrigerator, which would be the largest drainer, but it's going to be nothing compared to what's draining the power out of the house now. And see if we can save some money on that electric bill. And I talked with the electric company. They said that for $100 I can get a different meter. They can put a meter on that will read power coming in and out, so it can actually go backwards, and it'll buy back any extra electricity. The one that I have there now is just one-way power. It only reads power coming off the grid into the house, but doesn't go backwards. Now, this system can work where it won't use that power, but if I have any extra, it won't go back into the grid where it'll turn it backwards either. So I'm thinking about going on and investing and getting the tie-in and the sine wave converter that I'd like to get. Pure sine, I'd like to get a 1500, 2000 watt maybe, but I want to get a tie-in, so it'll be easier to tie this in instead of tying it into the breaker box. I'd rather just tie it into a breaker box back here with a fuse in the power room, and then just run it into the wall socket into the house. So right now I have these lines going into the house. I'm going into the house next door, and I have them feeding electricity to the storage building, and it works everything right now so far, although none of them have big power drains in them other than the main house, which I'm going to fix that. Alright, have any ideas? Let me know. Thank you.